My friends, it just keeps happening. More classic speedruns discovered to have been faked. This time it's SDA and SRG old boy, Lee SDA, and a number of his Yoshi's Island runs. Yoshi's Island world record holder and Speedrun.com community moderator, MT, tweeted this. Some of Lee's emulator speedruns were pre-recorded and passed off as live real-time attack runs. Since it is impossible to prove the use or non-use of emulator tools from .smv file playback, all runs will be removed from the leaderboard. Explanatory stream shortly. And in that stream, here's MT analyzing an instance of Lee's controller button inputs not aligning with the actual gameplay.
Alright, so he's gonna shoot an egg to hit this pot, but watch what happens. First of all, he's not pressing A at all here. He moves his thumb over like well after it's already been shot. Alright, so you see his thumb. It's clearly holding right on the D-pad. And that's a left press, okay? So he's going right, he presses left, then he goes right again. His thumb still hasn't moved. Now he moves his thumb to the left D-pad without, before even moving left again in the video. And then he just holds left the whole time. So left was pressed twice, but it only shows it's happening once on the controller cam.
Alright, I'm not gonna lie, I do find this kind of funny in a way. Like, what a complete trash poster. Imagine pre-recording a .smv file, the playback file type for the SNES 9X emulator, basically creating a humanly reasonable tool-assisted speedrun, and just playing it back on stream while pretending to play. And having the balls to show a controller cam, just to see how far you can take it. It's hilarious to the point of absurdity, in a way. There's much more analysis, nearly 2 hours worth in this highlight. It'll be in the description if you want to have a look yourself. Now here's another clip from the Mega Marathon back in 2013, a world record time of 1 hour and 41 minutes, commentated by none other than Trihex, Carl Sagan, and Boss Crab. Back around then, in the golden era of speedrunning, there were tons of these online GDQ-style marathons. They'd line up runner after runner and toggle the stream over to keep a stream going for, say, a weekend or so, oftentimes to raise money for some cause, or sometimes just for fun. And you'd often get really great commentary from other top runners of the game, since it was so easy to just get them on voice chat instead of attending an event in person. Not only does Lee call that he's going to hit the world record in this run, which he does here.
By the way, we are no longer behind. We're ahead by 10 minutes.
Oh, in that case, perfect, because I'm just going to do like a Fallout attempt right after this. I'm going to get the world record and be even further ahead, and then I'll just do some Fallout.
The commentators were also audibly impressed by the swag strategies Lee was pulling off, which aren't something anyone in a normal marathon run would usually attempt at the time.
Well, given that I had the donation incentive that was met for the lava skip, that's gonna be like one absolute try hard. Like, I cannot avoid that try hard, so that'll be one. I've got some swag that you guys don't know about.
First, dude, that was a beast 1-2 skip.
Oh, yeah. This level will have some hype, or have some swag in here.
Oh my god, you got some secrets that I don't know about, don't you? For that later.
Alright, we're safe. We're safe. Here we go. Here.
Holy, okay, you get a try hard for that.
Hang on a second, no, this try hard is right here. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah!
What? 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 No, what,
son?
Trey, you watching that?
Dude, I just had a fucking heart attack, dude.
Dude, so did I.
You like that?
Dude,
I thought you died.
Dude, you did not practice that.
You like that? Alright, let's see if I can get this. Shout outs to Carl for this shot.
Triple foam, triple foam, 1A, 1 destiny, 1 chance. YOLO!
Oh my god, he got it! Holy f***, how are you even doing? What the f***? Oh my god, I am not ready for this run, Lee!
The neutral, dude. The neutral in that foam is f***ing so good. I'm like, alright, that's like one of my secret strats. Neutral in that, like, in that vertical foam section.
See that? This is not, you are playing f***ing cast right now.
I know, you didn't...
This is not, you are playing a f***ing cast right now.
I know, you Godlike. Oh my god, dude. That's not gonna hit. That's not gonna hit. That's not gonna... Okay, okay.
Holy dude. Lee, are you done? I don't want to tell. I was dead silent until you fucking got the world record by 1 minute and 30 seconds. Fucking got the world record by 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Carl Sagan eventually grew suspicious of Lee's consistent high-level gameplay and asked Lee to duck in an auto-scrolling part of a run once to see if Lee could put random or unexpected inputs into the game when prompted and prove that it just wasn't a file being played back. Lee laughs it off though, claiming he can't duck because he has to collect all the coins, even though there's no requirement to do so in this speedrun.
No time to duck, Carl. I need to get all the coins. There is no time to duck. You're ducking. Coins are of utmost importance. If you don't get all the coins in this place, I will reject that IL.
So what happened here is likely that the pre-recording collected all the coins, and Lee knew he had to respond in some way to make the conversation seem natural. It's interesting that even though Carl seemed to know something was up, the veracity of Lee's runs was never really pursued further until very recently. Now when these accusations came up, Lee kind of half-assed confesses, claiming that he had 2 runs which were done or recorded previously. And he claims that while the run with the hand cam shown was indeed one of these pre-recorded runs, the other 2 runs I just showed were not fake, he says. And Lee never actually admits that the runs were edited in the same fashion as a tool-assisted speedrun at all, only that he played back pre-recorded runs in marathon events on days he wasn't playing well. Of course, because this can't be verified in any way, it's impossible to tell which runs are real or fake based on what he confessed, and all of his runs were removed from the leaderboards. Lee goes on to say he's okay with the runs being removed because he never felt like emulator runs should have been accepted anyways, and that he just wanted to hang out with the Yoshi players. The Yoshi community was not very satisfied with these statements, but about half a day later he posted this apology. I thought about it and MT's right. I gave a poor apology, spent too much time explaining and not enough time saying sorry. Regardless of any of that, I'd like to take this time to say that I'm really sorry for doing such a shitty thing and not being forthcoming about it, which is what I should have done back in 2014 immediately. And I'm especially sorry to my friends in here who were supporting me during that time and betraying your trust. Thanks for your time, friends. I gotta say, I think this is a pretty fair apology. There is certainly a huge difference, in my opinion, between people who cheat or are caught to have cheated and come clean and apologize immediately within a day or two. You know, it takes a couple days to digest what's going on. Lee might not have thought about these fake runs for years, and would have been pretty shocked when all of a sudden it becomes a story. So I think his second apology is genuine. You compare this to people in the most egregious cases like Todd Rogers or Henning Blom, who continue to deny the accusations even in the face of irrefutable proof for months, years, or even decades. Yes, we can all agree that all cheating and speedrunning is terrible, and we need to make efforts to reduce its frequency, which I'll get into in a bit, but there are certainly levels and depths to it, ranging from a regretful snap from pressure and competition, or a lapse in judgment, to a full-blown delusional denial of the truth. Lee's kind of somewhere in between. His apology is fair and timely, but he still seems to have not come clean on at least a handful of runs which definitely seem to be fake. And it is pretty messed up how Lee acted like he was hitting all these cool swag strategies in front of his buddies, literally acting out lies in real time, and he kept up the shtick for years to come. But the apology is pretty fair. He makes no excuses, he knows it was wrong, and it seems to have been accepted by many fellow Yoshi's Island runners. So while unfortunate, it seems like the situation has been handled cleanly and well. But I think it's important to look at a couple things to figure out why perhaps he cheated, and how he was caught. Let's first look at his statement about not caring all that much. In other words, not taking things seriously because he felt emulator runs shouldn't be ranked in the first place. He felt like he was playing a game that shouldn't count anyways. And the thing is, at least on the matter of emulator counting on speedrunning rankings, I do agree. Emulator speedrunning isn't the same. It shouldn't be ranked with console runs. Look, if you're brand new to speedrunning and you want to try it out, by all means, get on an emulator, play a game, give it a try, see how you like it. That's actually more than fine, and I encourage that. But if you want to take it even one iota seriously, and compete at the top of your game's leaderboards, it's simply not acceptable. This is the original console hardware. And this is the hardware you use for an emulator. They will never be capable of producing the exact same environment for speedrunning a game. I know one or two of you might post technical details showing how, well, actually, yes, your PC can emulate a SNES perfectly, that's a job of the emulator. But if you just take a step back and look, what's a more fair competitive environment? If everyone is using this exact same console? Or every single person speedrunning a certain game are using a vast assortment of 100 different PCs, ranging in quality, from a 2018 double ASIC triple 1080X i9 to a 1995 MS-DOS laptop. I don't care if you're using this, or this, an emulator is not the same and will never be the same as original hardware. So sure, of course, this all doesn't mean that Lee had to cheat and that the game deserved it because they allowed emulator speedruns. Obviously not, and if he wanted to run seriously, he could have just acquired an SNES. But I can at least understand why he thought running on emulator was a joke. However, an even better reason to disallow emulator runs is apparent here too. Lee's runs are a perfect example of how much easier it is to cheat using an emulator than it is on original hardware. If you own a personal computer, you can not only freely download an emulator, but also the software used in tool-assisted speedruns, and easily create a .smv playback file to do exactly what Lee did, to make a TAS and just play it back as if it was your real run. This whole process is much more difficult on original hardware, as you need one of those funny-looking task bots, which, to be honest, I don't even know where you'd go to obtain one. They're probably out of the price range for most people and most speedrun hobbyists, and probably require PhD doctorate tier knowledge in computer programming and code writing to operate. Anyone can cheat easily on emulator, while it's much harder to do on console. The other huge thing Lee's fakes bring up is the idea of having controller cam required for verified speedruns. Without this, it's unlikely Lee's runs would have ever been outed at all, so this clearly is a very real solution. Another common suggestion along the same lines is requiring the console and TV to be shown on camera at all times. And it may surprise you, because some speedrun hobbyists tend to paint me as some kind of authoritarian speed dictator who wants to require performance-enhancing substance testing with urine samples after every record. But I actually don't support the wide implementation of hand cam requirement in speedrunning, at least not right now. There definitely is some kind of middle line you need to walk in terms of accessibility versus competitive fairness. And I think requiring everyone to go out and set up another webcam point at their hands starting tomorrow is just a little bit too much. It's possible that eventually we'll need to come to this, but I mean, I just hate having to awkwardly set up a camera, point at my hands and crotch. I move my arms and hands a lot while playing. It's just awful and it's hard to implement on a wide scale. Perhaps a community particularly ravaged by cheating could be the first to implement something like this as a trial and gauge the response. Or if we ever got to a point where there were huge speedrun tournaments being held for thousands of dollars in prize money, it'd be more than fair to require handcam and console cam there. But right now, today, I personally think requiring handcam is a little bit extra. And it pains me to say that because it definitely would help reduce cheating. Take a look at this insane video by a gentleman named Trent Huvis, a guy whose shenanigans deserve a video all to themselves someday, showing a now infamous GoldenEye run. He's playing Control Agent normally, albeit slower than record pace. He then runs into a corner of the lift, and Natalia, who would usually stop at a computer to hack open a blast door on the other side of the room, instead runs right out this blast door, leaving Bond free to run around the later parts of the level, saving a pile of time. Trent posted this video in February 2014 and texted our old friend Jimbo that he had a few hours to figure out the strategy and get a free untied world record. The entire community spent the rest of the day trying to get the strategy to work before Trent revealed it was a ruse around midnight that day, and he had effectively wasted 600 hours of people's collective time. What's crazier is that most people actually believed he'd found something new, given Trent's history as a strategy discoverer and innovator, and given his performance in the video with the console and TV fully visible the whole time. The console on screen gave it more credibility. Alex Bass Boost Anderson pointed to the way the controller cable never moved much as a reason for his own skepticism, and Trent was never banned for this run as he never posted on the rankings, and there's no rule to ban players for making troll GoldenEye videos if they're not posted on the rankings. But the point is, even with these extra precautions, console shown, TV shown, handcam shown, you can still get away with a fake run. I mean, Lee got away with it for 4 or more years. It's actually comical how ballsy he had to be to engage in this act of performance art and not break once, even in the face of suspicion. Truly remarkable. I really have to commend the Yoshi's Island community on how they've dealt with the situation. Apparently it was under 24 hours from discovering the fakes to getting Lee's first confession and apology. And each time something like this comes up, I'm more and more impressed with how the various communities deal with them now. Openly, fairly, and timely. It was a complete gong show when this kind of thing would happen 10 or 15 years ago in speedrunning. We used to have a ton of problems back then, and yes, I was a part of those problems. No one knew how to deal with fake runs or delayed proof videos or spliced videos. No one wanted to be the one who had to take action against it. So we've really all come a very long way. I'm especially impressed by record holder and community moderator MT, who really stepped up with a streamed explanation of the fake handcam play. Again, check out that highlight if you'd like. He's certainly in an unenviable position, having to put down a formerly well-respected friend and competitor, and he's handling all very, very well. The unfortunate reality is that, again, like anywhere in life, it's impossible to stop cheating for good, even with taking very drastic precautions and implementing very harsh rules. That's why I so strongly believe it's so important to implement the reasonable rules for now, such as not allowing emulators on rankings and requiring captured quality proof videos, to prevent us from getting to a point where we need to take further, more drastic measures. So what do you guys think? Do you accept or buy Lee's explanation and apology? Should it be off to the gulag with him? Or should I appoint him Secretary of Emulator Disarmament in my Speed Presidential Cabinet? Let me know what you think in the comments. Huge thanks to all of you for watching and hanging out, guys. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to your feedback. As always, stay true, my friends, and I'll see you in the next stream or video.